Welcome in, everybody. Get ready to dive deep as we explore the fascinating world of medical data today. We're going to be uncovering some pretty amazing stuff about a company called Telegenisys and how they're using something called retrospective data to make waves in medical research. We've got three sources lined up that we're going to be pulling from. So imagine this. You're a medical researcher hot on the trail of a breakthrough, and you've got access to this incredible library of past cases, almost like a treasure trove of clues just waiting to be unlocked. Well, that's the power of retrospective data. It's like having a medical time machine. And Applied Research Pharma 21.pdf really highlights how Telegenisys is using this to potentially revolutionize the field.
It's true. It's particularly game-changing for rare diseases where time is really of the essence. Instead of waiting for new data to emerge, researchers can tap into this gold mine of existing information to potentially accelerate discoveries.
That's incredible. We're talking about potentially shaving years off the research timeline, which could be life-changing for patients. And speaking of speeding things up, the document also mentions how this approach is really shaking things up when it comes to moving from what's called natural history studies to clinical trials.
Yes. Natural history studies are all about understanding how a disease naturally progresses over time, right?
Exactly.
Traditionally, this has been a very lengthy process. But with retrospective data, researchers can hit the ground running. They've got years of pre-existing data to analyze, connecting the dots between a disease's development and potential treatment paths much faster.
So it's about working smarter, not harder.
Precisely. And that translates to clinical trials, the gold standard for testing new treatments happening sooner. It's a real game changer.
It's like having a well-organized detective's case file with all the evidence laid out, ready to be analyzed.
That's a great way to put it. And that's where telegenesis really comes in. Raw medical data, let's face it, can be incredibly messy and overwhelming. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack.
Oh, absolutely.
But Telegenisys takes this mountain of information and creates a system, making it easily digestible for researchers.
So instead of getting lost in the weeds, researchers can focus on what matters, finding those breakthroughs.
Exactly. Faster insights lead to breakthroughs in treatment and ultimately to better outcomes for patients.
And it's not just your typical medical files they're working with either. Protected Record Types 202011.pdf mentions they gather a wide variety of records from billing information to even things like education records, which I found fascinating.
It's incredible. By casting such a wide net, going beyond just the traditional medical files, Telegenisys opens up all sorts of new avenues for research.
Like adding another layer to our detective's case file, right? One that might hold a crucial clue. So we've talked about retrospective data in a general sense, but now let's look at a specific example. Pharma Case Study 202011.pdf details a fascinating case study that really brings this approach to life. This one focuses on a natural history study looking at a particular condition in minors.
Now working with data from minors adds another layer of complexity, doesn't it?
Exactly. It's not just about the data itself.
Right. You have to be extra cautious about privacy and ethical considerations.
Absolutely. Especially when it comes to something as sensitive as medical information.
And that's where HIPAA compliance comes in.
Exactly. HIPAA regulations are crucial for protecting patient privacy, and they become even more critical when you're dealing with data from minors.
It's not as simple as just accessing records. There are strict protocols in place.
Absolutely. And this case study really highlights how Telegenisys navigates these complexities with their signature meticulousness.
Their commitment to ethical data handling is really impressive.
It's clear they've put a lot of thought into ensuring that privacy is maintained at every step.
Oh, absolutely. And a big part of that is ensuring that parents or guardians are kept in the loop.
Yes, giving them control over data sharing is essential.
And that seems to be a key part of Telegenisys' approach.
Exactly. It's all about transparency and informed consent.
And this resonates really well with the research teams involved.
Oh, I bet. Knowing that the data they're working with has been obtained ethically and responsibly must make a huge difference.
Absolutely. And it seems like Telegenisys' commitment to organization extends to their data sharing practices as well.
Right. It's not just about having the data, it's about making it accessible and usable.
Exactly. The case study actually mentions a quote from one of the research teams. They said, "The data extraction team is thrilled to have the data organized and hyperlinked. This makes it easy to find, study, and extract relevant information."
That's fantastic. It sounds like Telegenisys' approach is streamlining the entire research process, allowing researchers to focus on what they do best, analyzing data and uncovering those breakthrough insights.
Absolutely. It's all about maximizing efficiency, and impact.
So we're seeing a real-world example of how this approach can lead to tangible benefits, not just for the companies involved, but for the researchers and ultimately for patients as well.
Precisely. And what's really exciting is that this is just one example.
Right. This technology has the potential to transform medical research on a much larger scale.
It's not just about one company or one study. It's about a fundamental shift in how we approach healthcare.
Okay, so let's zoom out a bit.
Let's talk about the bigger picture.
What kind of impact could this technology have on the future of medical research and treatment?
Oh, the future. Fasten your seatbelts because we're talking about a world where drug discovery could be lightning fast,
Wow, that's incredible.
potentially leading to cures and treatments for diseases that we thought were impossible to tackle.
It's like hitting the fast forward button on medical breakthroughs, especially for those diseases that have stumped researchers for years.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just treatments. Imagine a world where medicine is tailored to you.
Oh, you mean like personalized medicine?
Exactly. Retrospective data analysis could make it a reality, where treatment plans are crafted based on your medical history.
So instead of a one-size-fits-all approach, we're talking about treatments as unique as the individuals receiving them?
Precisely. Imagine the possibilities, treatments that are more effective because they're tailored to your specific needs.
It's like having a medical team that knows your body inside and out. Amazing.
It is pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
And it gets even more exciting. Think about uncovering hidden disease connections that we never even knew existed.
Oh, like unlocking those medical mysteries.
Exactly. By analyzing these massive data sets, we could uncover patterns and links that could completely change our understanding of how diseases work.
It's like putting together a giant medical puzzle with retrospective data analysis providing the missing pieces.
It really is. This technology holds the potential to rewrite the rules of healthcare as we know it. A future where diseases are understood, treated, and even prevented in ways we never thought possible.
It's incredibly inspiring to think about all the possibilities that lie ahead. So as we wrap up our deep dive today, we've uncovered how retrospective data analysis, spearheaded by companies like Telegenisys, is revolutionizing the world of medical research. It's accelerating discoveries, shaping new treatment strategies, and ultimately paving the way for a healthier future for all of us.
And as we sign off today, here's a thought-provoking question to ponder. If researchers could access your de-identified medical history, what mysteries could it help solve? What could your data contribute to this global endeavor of unlocking medical mysteries? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us on this incredibly deep dive into the world of medical data.